Well, indeed, my guest is on standby and I'm excited. You know, it's amazing. Kana muchiona vanhu vachibata nguva soka zvinongokomborera so pane zvazvinotongotiita also. And so I'm really, really excited that our guest is here live with us on After 5 Radio. Zvichanakidza mnasi. And so as we get ready to tune in and talk to my guest, I am going to give a big shout out to Tenda who's tuning in. Thank you for tuning in, and I'm so excited. We've got a lot of people who are tuning in, but my guest has been waiting for the past 3 minutes, and I need to have him come on. So let me see if we are ready to go.
Hi, this is Rosella, and you're tuned into After 5 Radio.
Yo, what's going on, people? It's your boy Kaz, aka Mr. Boomslang, and you are now rocking with the best After 5 Radio. Boomslang in that evening. Sing it!
You're listening to After 5 Radio, the best in Zimbabwean diaspora music.
And ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure, my privilege to introduce a man who 10 years ago did the most. Ladies and gentlemen, we have today, are you ready? Munya Chidzonga. Are you there, my brother?
I definitely am, Coach. How are you, man? Hey, what an intro. I wish I had recorded that.
You know what? I was just thinking about this, my brother. It's been 10 years. Was it 10 years since you hit Big Brother?
It's been exactly 10 years. That's correct.
Oh my gosh.
It feels like a lifetime ago, eh?
Oh my, no, it kind of feels like yesterday for me. I mean, I'm like 10 years. You are 10 years. Think it's a 10 years, I got to grade 5, unoziya.
Tell me about it.
Well, welcome, my brother. I'm so excited that you could come. Yesterday you were traveling, and here you are. You have a busy life, and I don't even know where to start from. It's almost like, you know, do I start from where I know you from, or do I start from me hanging out with your dad and you're knowing your mom? And hey, there's so much to talk about. But welcome so much, and thank you, Munya, for coming. Before we even say too many things, why Diamond Boy? Why Diamond Boy?
You know, at the time, it started from, my brothers, and, we were young guys, running around the streets and making noise and typing, Mangoda boys. So, you're in the Big Brother house, we had to speak English. So I just translated it to Diamond Boys. And then it turns out the moniker actually had some sort of prophetic powers to it, because the qualities of a diamond Mukoma are that a diamond is the hardest substance in the world, and diamonds are made from pressure and from the most arable and oppressive geological conditions imaginable. You get one of the most beautiful creations on earth. And it rang true of my stay in the house. I mean, my stay in the house is very pressure filled and not what one would call very enjoyable for someone who's of a weak disposition, should I say.
Wow, that's really, really, really amazing. And you know what, I'm happy that right from there you began to brand yourself. And you know what, there's been lots that has been spoken about around the Big Brother Africa thing. I mean, just tell me, what is one of the biggest joys of you being on Big Brother Africa?
There were a lot of joys, eh? I think, the whole experience. I think, there's a lot of people who don't get the opportunity to live life at that tempo. And that's something that I'll forever be grateful for. It's the experience of a lifetime. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So let's now move. Today we've themed this from one big leap to another, because the story about you being on Big Brother Africa, again, it's 10 years old, but people still remember that. And the reason I brought you onto this show is because
Okay.
there's been a lot that has happened in your life ever since. You know, certain people, and I want to start from there. As a coach myself, I know that a lot of people struggle when they hit a particular pinnacle in their career, when they hit a particular level in their endeavors, they then just fizzle out. I mean, we see that with a lot of footballers, for example. We see it with musicians as well, and there's a lot of work happening with artists. But there's something about just fizzling out and not being at or enjoying or using that kind of brand that you'll have created to leverage yourself, to catapult yourself to the next level. So tell me, Munya, what's been happening in your life since 2010?
Wow. First of all, thank you so much for having me on the show, Nkoma. I really appreciate the recognition. Thank you very much. And thank you to all the people who tuned in. I heard you mention Tatenda.
Yeah, and there's Nyasha. There's also this amazing guy. Let me just tell you about this guy. His name is Timothy, but his presenter name is one of our DJs on After Five Radio. We call him Lemon Flavor, and we're fighting with him because we want to call him Uncle Flavor. And then yesterday he posted this thing, and he was baking potatoes, and everybody was asking, "You gonna put some lemons in there?" So he's based in Norway. And there's a new development in Norway actually about the coronavirus, and it is saying that you have to register your name and address when you enter into a restaurant or when you're watching kids matches before you even enter the arena. So those are the developments that are happening in Norway. So please give a big shout out to Lemon Flavor. And some of you may not remember who Munyaradzi Chidzonga is. Munyaradzi Chidzonga is a Zimbabwean actor, and he first rose to prominence in 2008, which means that he's been out there for the past 12 years. And the 12 years is when he appeared on the reality TV show Big Brother Africa. And he was representing Zimbabwe, and that was the third edition of this particular one. So it was very exciting that he came out, and there was lots of things that happened. And then in 2010, Lemon Flavor is also keen to know, so what really went on? In 2010, he participated in the 5th season of Big Brother Africa, becoming runners-up, losing to the guy who represented Nigeria. So that's essentially where we get to know and talk about Munya Chidzonga. And what has been happening is that there's a lot of things that happen to people when they get to a place of prominence. And here on Reckless Verses, what we like to do is we like to talk to people. We like to talk to people who have done very good things. And we want to hear what their lifestyle has become after the prominence. We want to know what has become of them after the experiences that they've gone through. In 2010, after the reality show, Munya went to produce and act in films like Lobola and The Gentleman in 2011. And he's got his own production company called Ivory Pictures. And so hopefully we can talk to Munya about that and get to find out what he's been doing around that. So
I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Fantastic. You are loud and clear. And so while we were having a bit of a technical challenge, I was talking to you about Lemon Flavor, Timothy, who's based in Norway. And kwete ku Norway, Norway, the country. It was most of Kaduta ku Norway. But Norway. Kwete ku Norway mission. Saka
next door.
Aiwa maya zitori kure kuchando unozia. And dzakachitoda kutoziva kuti but Munya Chidzonga, we want to know more about this Munya Chidzonga. So I gave him a profile, and I told him that in 2008 you actually tried to go. Did you try to get into Big Brother in 2008?
Yeah, I succeeded.
And what
by the grace of God.
And what happened in 2010?
And 2010, yeah.
So you went twice.
Yes, sir.
Oh my gosh! So I mean, Lemon Flavor. So he still wants his greeting. He says to me, "Coach, when Munya comes back, not Munya Wachandi Mores Rotins."
Mr. DJ Lemon Flavor, how are you, my brother? I hope you're well, Kuchando. Just wear a hat. You know those hats, you know those ones that can shield any weather, hail, snow, rain, sun. Those ones are the ones you need. Pick up yourself, my guy.
Kwewe Munya ndakakuona uchidhaiva mumvura yanga ine chando. What was going on there, brother?
Do you know, I think that was the day that all the blackness in my system left me temporarily. You know, I think there's a thing where, you know, everything about you, your entire culture, your blackness, your identity can leave you for a split second when you jump into water that cold.
Where were you when you jumped into that water?
So I think if the clip is on the internet, I think you're referring to Finland.
Yeah, you're in Finland. Yeah.
I did a stint in Finland, you know, so what they do, the Finnish have got what they call, well, they call it a Finnish bath, which is a sauna, and a sauna and a steam. So basically, what the idea is that you go into this really hot sauna and steam room, and then you jump into ice cold or below freezing water. And what that does is the sudden change in temperature is good for your blood vessels, apparently, because your blood suddenly starts, you know, flowing to try and counter the cold. So it's good for your skin, youthful vitality, and it's also good, you know, to empty your swimming trunks of its content. You know, I think that's the other use of it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So fantastic. So we were, before we got interrupted, and once again, After 5 Radio and all our listeners are so excited that you were kind enough to come back even with the technical challenge. After Big Brother, what happened?
So, wow, so much happened. Yeah, so much happened, and I don't even know where to start. You know.
So let's start with Lobola.
Right, there we go. So, what a lot of people don't know about my time in the Big Brother house was that was an orchestrated move. You know, as God would have it, this opportunity came up to go into the house, but it started with my love for film. I think let me start there. I went to film school. I graduated top of my class in acting and script writing. Well, I wasn't top, but you know, like what old people used to say, I was always number one or number two. Number three, but number one, number two.
Yeah.
So this time, unfortunately, I think I was number 3.
Right.
But it's fine. So my vision, my dream was always to make films. That was always the plan. So we made Lobola before I went into the house, and you know, I said, look, you know, I had auditioned and I'd already been in the house in 2008. So between 2008 and 2010, that's when we made Lobola. And I said, look, I'm going back into the house. Let me use this as a free marketing platform to sell the film. And it worked like a charm. In fact, it worked more than it was larger than I thought it would be. You know, I said, okay, look, let me make the sacrifice because it's free television on the biggest channel on the continent, biggest TV reality show on the continent, you know, one of the biggest formats in the world. I might as well use the platform. It worked like a charm. Lobola, the movie, comes out. We sell 70,000 copies of DVD.
Are you kidding me? Did you say 70,000?
70,000.
Oh my gosh! And how did you do that? How did you sell 70,000? That's, hey, mdara kana manga mchita kana 50 cents. That means you made $35,000, bruh.
Yeah, so we were selling them at $1, so we made about 70 grand.
Wow.
In revenue. I think what we did is we basically out-pirated the pirates. I mean, that was the game plan. You know, we used what we call blitz marketing.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the correct use of the term.
Right.
We basically made sure we're everywhere, and that, you know, the idea was everyone should have a Lobola disc thrust in their face. Every single person in the country.
Wow.
Should have access to it. And you know, we pushed. I mean, there was a very steep learning curve, and a lot of very valuable business lessons came out of that experience. So while all of this was happening, I was trying to build a family, which is a lot easier than trying to do business. I think so. I don't know what you think.
Well, you know what? We'll talk about family, but you know what? Everybody's got their different experiences, and so let's. I want to know something before we even go to your family. Is to say that, I mean, I'm still stunned that you cracked 70,000, bro. Is that 70,000 in Zim or worldwide?
So that was in Zim.
Oh
The
my
majority,
gosh!
the bulk of that was in Harare, actually.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow. Is it because you charged $1 for it, or because of your marketing? The exciting thing about having you on our program, Munya, is because again the reason I invited you is because people get to the pinnacle of different stages of their lives, but they want to stay in that stage. You chose not to stay in Big Brother. You went to Big Brother, used that, came out, and now you're talking about 70 grand from the movie Lobola. Come on, tell us more, bruh.
So look, I mean, it's. I think one thing leads to another. You're sort of we're sort of swinging along in the jungle, and you don't let go of this branch until you've got hold of the next one. But you know, the one leads to the next, and sorry for comparing us to monkeys, but one leads to the next.
Right.
No offense intended. Yeah, look, that was always the plan. That was always the vision, and just never being satisfied. You mentioned the price or the marketing. Look, I don't know if this is a dated marketing theory or not, but the 4 Ps.
Yes.
Price, place, product, and
Promotion. Yeah.
Exactly. So you have to have a good blend, a delicate blend of both, of all four. And we just so happen to strike the right chord. I think in terms of place, we made sure we're at street corners actually, and we're at street corners and traffic lights. We were at places where there was a concentration of people. In terms of the price, we kept it. We started at $3, and then we realized, look, let's push volumes. So we dropped the price, made it affordable. So we're now competing with bread, right? Which is a totally different marketing sphere on its own. That's a conversation for another day.
Right.
And then in terms of promotion, look, we're on the biggest TV show on the continent, so everyone knew that there was this product that was out there. And then in terms of the actual product itself, we did the best that we could with what we had, and we revolutionized the way content is consumed. People are used to this very expensive packaging and all that stuff. We realized no, people don't care about the packaging. What they want is the content.
Right.
And that, I remember having this conversation with the late Dr. Oliver Mtukudzi, and he was saying, so what do you mean? And I said, no, what we just did, we printed the discs and we put them in these cardboard sleeves because cardboard is cheaper. And he looked at me and he said, why do people throw it away and say, I know Nyato Guts, it doesn't have a strong case.
Right.
I said, no one cares about the case. People want the content, and that was at that period in time in history.
Wow.
And it worked,
wow.
like a charm.
And then a year later, you were out with the gentleman, and tell us more about this. And both of these are under Ivory Pictures, and what Wikipedia is telling us is that this is your baby.
Yes, sir. I mean, so Ivory Pictures is my company. We started it in November 2010. It was actually, look, I'd always wanted to start a company, and I remember having this conversation with my dad, and he was saying, you don't have enough to start a company. You can't just have a company in my paper.
Yeah.
And I said, no, look, we're entrepreneurs, we're hustlers, we'll build a profile. So that was how Ivory Pictures was born. So Ivory Pictures is a distribution and production house. And look, The Gentleman was the second offering from Ivory Pictures. And obviously we collaborated with other people, because your film is a collaborative effort. You can't do it all on your own. Otherwise, you have substandard products or produce. So, I mean, the Gentleman was set up to be more of a technical offering, and we wanted to flex our muscle a bit more and explore the medium, push the boundaries. We said, okay, look, we've made one feature film, tick. Now let's see what we can do with this medium called film. And as God would have it, I won a NAMA award for that film.
Yes, you did. That was now in 2012, I believe, exactly a year. I mean, you've had very interesting 3 years, man. 2010, 2011, 2012. You were still on the high.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's and then I think the gentleman was a different project because it was more difficult to get it out to the people, and we put more money into it. But ironically, Lobola is still way more popular than the gentleman is, and that taught me a lot about making films and making product for your market. That it's there's no formula to it. And your audience is king or your customer is king. You know,
Wow. And so,
and they decide. Yeah.
yeah, so Munya, you know what, I obviously have had the privilege and honor of interacting with you on multiple platforms. I want you to explain to our audiences how you are able to remove the glam, the glory, and get your hands dirty. What's going on in your mind? Because you are Munya Chidzonga kayo.
I think I'll be honest with you, Coach. In this country, particularly, we have to develop a better culture of mentorship and a better culture of what's the word where you're handing over the reins and
Right.
you're grooming people. Because I think it happens in every young man's life. They get to a point like you mentioned it actually, where you get to the pinnacle of your powers, or everything, the stars align and you're top of your game, and all these opportunities are flying all around you. And if you don't learn humility, then life will humble you and humiliate you. So I had to go through a lot of humiliation to get to the point where I was humble enough to realize that it doesn't matter who you are, you just have to work. And again, you mentioned my father and my mother. I'm very fortunate to have a strong support system of very positive and very very inspirational individuals, yourself included. I remember. Do you remember that gig that we did together?
Oh, we did that gig where we opened a bank, a new branch. I remember that one, and we had to dress up, bruh.
Exactly. We had to put on our glad rags, suit and tie.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, experiences like that, Nkoma, are what keep you grounded, because you're Coach Taff, but you're doing the work.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow. I mean, and a lot of people struggle with that, Munya, to be very honest, is that they like the glamour, but they don't want to put in the work. And it's always dangerous when people do that, because celebrity status haibhadhari mdara, but basa celebrity, if you use it very well, it can then work indeed to your favor. So tell us more about Ivory Pictures. What else has happened with Ivory Pictures? And I love your names, by the way. First is Diamond Boy, Ivory Pictures. What happened after 2012 with Ivory Pictures?
So Ivory Pictures, so after we did Lobola, we did The Gentleman, and then I did a film where I was just acting, which was Something Nice from London. And then after that, I did a film called Escape, where I was a line producer, not a line producer, a line producer, which is almost like a project manager, and I designed the distribution system, the distribution model. And then after that, to be honest with you, I sort of parked Ivory Pictures because I realized I need a lot more capital.
Okay.
To take the company to the next level. So I said, okay, let me figure out a different way to solve my capital problems. So Ivory Pictures is still there. We've had a number of projects that have been in the works, but it's been put on the back burner for now, while I put together the capital to take us to the level that we want to get to.
But your good fortune continued to pursue you, and you were on Mzansi Love. What was that? That was like 2 years later. 2 years, 2012, you win a NAMA award, and you're trying to get your things in place. Actually, it sounds like you actually never really got time to eat your money, brother.
There's no time. There's no time. I mean, I don't look. By 35, I will have retired.
Well, that would have been last year, man. And so then you went to South Africa. How long were you in South Africa for?
No, sorry, that would have been this year. I turned 35 this year.
No,
the Wikipedia, the wiki page There's, I don't know. I need to speak to the. I'll phone.
No,
I'll
no.
phone the head of Wikipedia.
I'm talking about you starring in Mzansi Love.
Oh yes, yes. Sorry.
2014.
I'm totally lost now.
2014.
Yes, 2014. So I remember that audition, Mukoma, and it's so fortunately I had a friend of mine who I had done a play with years before that, and I remember driving there down to Joburg and going to do this play, not having anywhere to stay, and all these adventures. So anyway, she calls me up and says, "No, Munya, I've got this role. Can you audition? Can you do a British accent?"
Yeah.
Then I said, "Well, that is." Then I did my fake rendition of a British accent, and I said, "It depends which part of Britain you want." And anyway, she was impressed. I did the audition, I got the part, and I was in Mzansi Love, and I found myself in South Africa shooting over, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks.
Wow.
We're shooting for ETV. It just happened, and it's it's one step at a time, just chipping away.
Now tell me, with all this that is happening to you,
Yeah.
and have you gone beyond at this stage? Have you gone beyond the Big Brother image? And how have you managed your personal brand as all of this is happening? And ladies and gentlemen, you will not believe this. You will not believe this. We have just got our first call all the way from Canada. Well, hello, Nyasha. I believe you are calling me from Canada.
Hello, Coach Staff. How are you? Yes, I'm all in Canada.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for calling us from Canada. Now, where exactly are you in Canada?
I'm in Toronto.
Maona kama machinja ma-accent ndozvamunonetsera mazimbabweans kana mango-crosser over ma-accent enyu anenge akungochinja hazvino here kuti is it Toronto or Toronto?
It's actually Toronto.
Ish. Okay, ndakutoshaya ndotaura kuti chini. I thought I knew how to speak the nice, English. So tell me, are there people out there that you've been sharing about After Five? Because, After Five Radio is about Zimbabwean music for the diasporan market, and we're excited that you can join us. But most importantly, that you could also come live with us, and thank you for making this call. Tell us, do people know about After Five in Canada?
Listen, I'm spreading the word, and I just want to give a shout out to Sita all the way from Montreal. She's tuned in and she's listening too. So, hi, Sita.
Oh my gosh, this is really cool.
So, thank you for having this platform for us.
Fantastic.
And as I was listening to KDV earlier, as he was giving the tribute to Tuku, that was so awesome.
Wonderful. I hope KDV is listening in. And I will pass on the message. But just tell us, what time is it in Toronto?
Coach Staff, we can just call it Toronto.
Chiwasu chinobva chabata zvekuti pamwe toda kuti timbofambe takamborowa nechando ndokuti pamwe titaurawo matauro amuri kuita. But anyway, what time is it out there?
It's actually 10:16, and I'm working from home. Hopefully my boss won't find out that I'm going to tune into After Five Radio. All the same, it's 10:16 a.m.
Right, so
started work actually.
All right, so you had requested to just say hi to Munya Chidzonga, and he's coming back on in a short while. So I'm going to just ask you a couple of questions. We just want to understand how you guys are doing it out there in Canada, and most importantly, would like you to please, we beg you, please, can you find all the artists, musicians, guys who are authors, script writers, the whole works. Just tell them about After Five Radio. Would like to profile them and so forth. So tell us, how is it like working out there in Canada?
It's not bad. it's good.
Fantastic. And in terms of this Rona, how have you been handling the Rona virus?
So it looks like our numbers are soaring up again. We most likely going to get a second wave. The good thing is it's winter, so I'm okay with just working from home and just avoid this white stuff that falls from the sky. So it's all good.
Well, that's interesting. And so what do you do in Canada? What do Do you have a regular job? Kana kuti ndimi munogeza chembere. I mean, I'm not trying to diss anybody, but if, even a couple of my friends will always use that terminology. But what it only means is that you've got more than one job and you're doing piece jobs and so forth. And we want to celebrate all the Zimbabweans who are doing the most out in the diaspora, sending money to the parents, sending money home. I actually can. Do you mind, Nyasha? Let me just give them a big, clapping to say thank you so much for all you're doing.
Yes, thank you to all the frontline workers.
So while we're doing that, you won't believe this, but Munya Chidzonga is now back online. I'm just going to make sure he joins in. Hey, Munya, are you there now?
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you, and I got a surprise for you, Munya.
Okay, go ahead.
The surprise is that there's a lady called Nyasha, and she's calling all the way from Canada, and she just wanted to say hi to you. Would you believe it?
Wow.
Hi, Munya. How are you?
I'm right, Nyasha. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. It's so good to hear you on the radio and hearing all those things that you're doing. Well done.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. How is it out there in Canada? Which part of Canada are you in?
Hold on. Munya, I want you to hear the accent, bro. Listen to the accent. Nyasha, go ahead. Let's hear. Where are you?
Okay, I'll say it the Canadian way. I'm in Toronto.
You're in Toronto?
Yeah, you got it, Munya. You got it.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Sorry, say that again. Sorry, I didn't quite get that.
I'm gonna have to start charging you guys. It's Toronto.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, one more time for those for the guys in Norwich. I love it. How is it out there in Toronto?
It's good. We're about to get into winter, so we'll be getting the white stuff falling shortly.
Wow.
Well, thank you so much, Nyasha. This is Munya's platform. I'm going to say goodbye to you, and thank you for tuning in. Once again, just spread the love. Tell everybody about After 5 Radio, and we're so excited that you could call in.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Munya. Take care.
All right, cheers, Nyasha.
Bye-bye now. Hey, Bra Munya, thank you for coming back. This is really exciting, and you know what? People are listening to you from all over the world. Isn't this amazing? And then that's when technology wants to be funny.
Yeah, look, technology is a hater, that one. I think not your friend sometimes,
Yeah, so Munya, we had gone past 2014, and so what happened to you? And for me, this is amazing. Again, we've themed our discussion from one giant leap to another. And you said 2008, Big Brother. 2010, Big Brother. 2010, again, Lobola. 2011, The Gentleman. 2012, winning a NAMA award. 2014, you were in Mzansi Love in South Africa. Tell us more. What's been happening past 2014?
So, I mean, out in Mzansi Love, I think I got a... Wow, sorry, but I just have to say, Coach, when you put it like that, guy, I was even like, hey, who's this guy?
Ndiwe Shamari, ndiwe. Muningi na wangu doing the most from Zimbabwe. Like we like doing that on Reckless Verses.
Yes. It's like you said, you just get on with the work. I think so. After Mzansi Love, it showed me, it gave me a taste of, working in SA and working particularly in for television, and that's when I met my agent. And then after that, we started to look for more gigs. And after that, I landed a small spot on Rhythm City.
Rhythm City? Are you serious?
Yes, sir. I was what's this guy's name? His name is Israel.
Israel. Shamutori biggers regati kuomberi wanwakuru.
Wakuru radio.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Rhythm City, tell us about Rhythm City.
So Rhythm City was, again, it was the first taste of, okay, so I'd done a lot of studio work with Big Brother, but I mean, for now, it was doing it was actually shot on the same studio that we shot Big Brother, but then in a different lot. And soapy studio work is very different. It's a very different tempo. It's a very different work ethic, and it requires very different skills. So
Right.
it was a great experience. I mean, now you're part of the commercial machine. To the point where when you get on set, you get given your script. I think the night before, and if when you get on set, you have to know your words. If you don't know your words, it comes out of your paycheck. So your first.
Are you serious? Is that how hard people grind out there?
That's how hard it is. That's how professional it is.
Wow.
Because their time is money. If they tell you be there at 6 a.m.
Right.
If you're there at 5 past 6,
Right.
you've just you've disrupted the whole schedule, and people can lose a day, which can cost millions.
Yeah.
So, it was a different experience, different tempo. And obviously this time you're hustling. You'll be hustling to make it work. So I think with all these big experiences, they sort of reminded me that that you have to work.
So sorry, Munya, I'm going to interrupt you. There's another call that's coming in, and
Okay.
this is actually one of our DJs, and his name is KDV, and he wanted to compliment you on your humility. Would you believe it? So KDV, can you hear us?
What's up, Coach Jeff?
You're loud and clear, bruh. You are live with Munya Chidzonga, and you have a message for him.
Hi, Munya, how are you doing?
I'm solid, my brother. How are you, Mr. KDV?
I'm good. You will probably remember me, but if you'd see the face, you would know. We met for a funeral of a common friend, beginning of January. He was an actor and a biker as well. He died in a sport bike accident.
Oh yeah, Elroy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So when I came there, you were outside, and we met. Then we spoke, and then we had to sit almost together in church there, and we had time to talk together. And I was also impressed by your humility. You know what I mean? Now hearing all these things that you have been through, and all these projects that you're doing, and okay, fine. I'll tell you. All I know is Big Brother, and I know my auntie used to follow you so much. And
Okay.
I once attended the roast of you on stand-up comedy. You know, the comedy that we used to do by Book Cafe. You were there, and that was that's my first time. I think I was emceeing there that night, and we never really spoke. But when I met you, for the funeral, I actually meant to look ask for a number. But you know what? I was impressed by your humility. Now hearing all these things that are going on, that are going on in your life, I'm just impressed, and I just feel you should keep on doing what you're doing, and may God bless bless you in all your endeavors. And I'm just happy for you, and keep on being you. Yeah, like you're saying, being a celebrity needs hard work, and I'm checking out you're doing hard work and you're keeping cool and remain cool like that, my guy.
Thank you so much, my brother. You put me in a very awkward position. I don't know what to say except thank you very much. And look, the humility side of it. Look, without humility, we would all go mad and it would all go nuts. And I receive, and I hope God will keep guiding me, to the next big opportunities. KGV.
Yeah.
Do you have what's your government name? Do you have a government name? But I know the police don't call you KGV.
No, they call me Kudzanaintini.
You see now.
All right. KTV.
We'll pick this up.
Munya KTV. You can catch him every weekday from 12 midday to 1500 hours on After 5, and his program is called The Voice Project. And a lot of women and ladies have been calling into the studio saying, we want to know who The Voice is. so Munya.
No, he's got the voice for it.
So Munya, I would like you to give KDV some advice as a fellow celebrity. What should this guy do? Because after 5,
You know what I'll say? I'll just say this, and I'll say the same thing that the late Dr. Chuku told me. He said, there's no such thing as a celebrity. people are celebrated for what they do. So whatever you do, make sure it's worth the celebration. So that's it, man. The rest falls into place.
Wow,
Okay,
thank you so much.
Thanks, my man. Thanks.
All right, KDV, it's my show. So goodbye, brother. See you tomorrow at 12 midday to 1500 hours on KDV the project. Oh, so thanks for calling in, brother.
Thank you, my brother.
So,
Cheers, KDV.
So Munya, you see that people are watching you, my brother. How does that feel to hear this guy has been watching you? He's got these eyes on you and many other people. How do you handle?
I think I think you don't really. At some point, I mean, at first it was sort of nerve wracking, but at some point you accept it and you carry on. And I just hope that they're looking at my good side. You know what I mean? Because I've got a good side. Like there's a little spot on my cheek. Nobody might yes if they look at the rest of me, I'm a newer. But if they're looking at that, then it's okay. But no, you just you. Look, I think someone once said to me that it's a blessing and it's a gift. And with any blessing and any gift, you don't hide it. You just carry on with it. So you have to first accept where you are, and you just carry on being you. And the more honest and open you are, the more people tend to gravitate towards you. It's so easy in this day and age to create a lie and to create, a celebrity persona where you're always looking dapper and you've got all these crazy experiences. I mean, Mkoma, if I put my experiences, the real experiences that I've been through,
right,
on Instagram, I'd break the internet.
Oh my gosh.
Or be in jail, whichever one you prefer.
Let's not go there. People are listening.
Let's not go there. It wasn't me. I was at home that night. But yeah, I would break the internet. And because there's so many things that I think I should actually write a book.
Well, you know what, and this is what this program is every day, weekdays from 1500 hours to 1600 to 1800 hours. We call this Reckless Verses, where we invite filmmakers like you. We invite script writers, authors. In actual fact, soon after you, I'm going to be talking to Selena Zigomo, and she's a publisher. And so you maybe want to just tune in and hear what she's going to say. But I encourage you to write a book. And you know what? In a few days' time, I'll be interviewing, would you believe, Chidzonga? Chidzonga is in California. The popular Chidzonga. She's written a book, and that book is called What Your Mom Didn't Tell You.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. But Coach, you've also written a book. So I'd love to read Chidzonga's book. Where can I find it?
Well, you know what? Tune in on Friday. And then she's going to tell us everything. She's going to be with me at 1700 hours, which is 8 o'clock in California. So you want to come in and listen to her. She has been breaking the internet on Instagram with all the things that she's been doing. But back to you. We want to know what's been happening, because I'm also aware that you have an amazing business in Harare. I want to get there as well, because you are all about the grind. You're all about the hard work. And my brother, I want to celebrate you, because you know what? A lot of people want things to come easy. And we haven't even talked about you being on Generations.
Oh, hey, Generations. That was another. That was, my mind was blown. I think part of the reason why people love what we do is because you get to live dreams. I remember when I was at college.
Yeah.
And, we used to, when I was still at film school, we used to come home after school and, we'd get home. And when I wasn't working, I'd get home and we'd watch television. So we'd watch all the soapies, Isidingo, Generations, we'd even watch Seven Zilan and all these shows. And we just used to sit there and wish and dream and think, dude, I'm just a young Zimbabwean guy. Would I ever be able to make a living out of what I do, let alone be on TV shows like this,
Yeah.
And, fast forward, a couple of years later, not even 10 years later, I'm standing at Henley Studios.
Oh my.
And I'm checking laptop and my work, and I'm being given my permit to walk into the Generation Studios. It was the SABC Studios. It was mind-blowing.
Wow.
And you see all these superstars just walking past you.
No. Not superstars. Your colleagues, you mean?
Yeah, but I was a bit of a groupie. I told you that I think I might have embarrassed you. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And you see all these big names, your Rapulanas, and all of these guys, and it blows your mind. And they're speaking to you as an equal, which is equally mind blowing. So with all these experiences, Nkoma, it's impossible to not be humble because you can always see the next level. I can always see how I could be better, how I could be bigger, how I could be, and you're a coach, so you you strive on setting goals and pushing people to their limits and beyond, so you get it, you know how when you see the next level or when you get to a certain level, you can see the next one.
Yeah, so I just want to celebrate right now. Penny Pangetti is tuning in, and I used to do radio with her, and I understand that sometimes what you want to do is to sit back and watch the greats. Penny Pangetti was on one of our local radio stations, and you know what? I just want to celebrate her. So I can understand where you're coming from. Kuna mwana wanorowa graft soka. Wekuti vanongokumanikidza kuti uite humble, and I can understand that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I know Penny Pangetti is a legend.
She's amazing, and so she
and her name and she's just got a name for fame. You know what I mean? Like, do you know the thing is, Mukoma, do you know what my full name is?
Tell me.
Mukoma, Indon's Munya Kanda Africa Chidzonga. That is not the name of the famous person. And then you've got people called Penny Pangetti. Oh my gosh! Like it just sounds like.
Oh man,
like Coco Chanel.
Yes, man. All right. So then after Generations, what happened, man? Once again, to all our listeners, I'm live with Munya Chidzonga, and he's just told us his full name. Now say it like you're in Toronto.
I was hoping no one was listening.
So we're live with Munya Chidzonga, and he's been taking us through his journey, and we're calling this from one giant leap to another, because we think that, when you get to whatever measure of success, that's not the end. You need to keep pushing and keep going. And Munya has been telling us amazing stories. We've got a call from Nyasha, who's in Canada. We also got a call from KDV, one of our radio presenters, just to talk to Munya. And man, all I can say is, Munya mfanongo, guys. Munya mfanongo.
Nice. No, and it's a pleasure, Coach. I mean, but how did you write your book?
So we'll get there. We'll get there. We want to hear about you. Listen to you. Try to turn the tables. So let's finish what happened after Generations.
It's a force of habit. You're a legend in your own right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Look, after Generations, where did we go after that? After the Generations, I did another movie after that.
Wow.
Tete B. I made a film called Tete B, which came out in 2016, 17. Sorry. And so this was an experiment. This was an experiment with low budget filmmaking. So a lot of people won't believe me if I say that we shot that film for $2,000 US.
Wow.
And we made that back. So in essence, it was probably one of the first films that I've ever made that's that actually made a profit, because ironically Lobola, for all of its sales, right, we just broke even. Okay. It was very expensive to get it out there, so we said, okay, look, let's try a different model. Let's try the other extreme, straight for television stuff. And we made this film for $2,000, and what we did is we shared ownership of the project with the other filmmakers. So the actors owned part of the project, the writer, the editor, everyone. And what we did on set is that we doubled up. So when you're not on set acting, you would be behind the camera.
All right.
Holding the boom mic and doing the lights and so we and it was an experiment, and it worked. And it's sorry, excuse me.
Okay.
It worked, and again, it showed me a lot about radio. Sorry, not radio. It showed me a lot about making film, and it showed me about how else you can make film. And what I realized then is that there's no substitute for hard work. There's no substitute for for quality. Greatness costs what it costs.
Right.
So it's either you pay that with money or you pay that with experience and time. And that project wouldn't have worked if unless the rest of the crew had the experience that they had. And so where we are now, we're now in 2017.
Yeah.
Um,
You have had an eventful decade, brother. You have had an eventful one.
yeah.
I
Oh, yeah.
mean, I can only imagine the names. Do you name drop? Do you name drop Munya? Because I don't mind dropping your name, bro.
Can I be honest? I actually do name drop. I mean, I've met some. I've been fortunate to meet some amazing people in my life.
Yeah.
So you can't help but. And Wangu, if it helps you get to the next stage, I will do it. I was like, yeah, as my good friend Coach Taff, you are only as great as your greatness.
Yes, man. Yes, man. So we're 2017 now.
We're 2017, and we shot another documentary at the end of 2017. Big project, but I'm not actually allowed to speak about it.
Okay.
The contents of that one.
Right.
But it hasn't come out yet.
Okay.
Three
Three years ago, and it still hasn't come out. I mean, again, that's the kind of patience that we want to talk about here on Reckless Verses, to say sometimes people are quick to just want to release things. You don't allow for it for perfect timing. Well, that's a big lesson right here.
Oh yeah, perfect timing. And I mean, look, it took me a long time to realize that. Again, like I was saying, that quality costs what it costs. There's no shortcuts. If you want to make a Hollywood film, you'll never make a Hollywood film with a wedding video budget. It just will never work. And my entire career, my film career, has taught me that. Distributing films and making films. Because I think in 2016 I started, getting invited to festivals.
Right.
To come and speak about distribution, which I'm very passionate about,
right.
and I believe that is the key to unlocking, the vast potential of the African film industry. So I started getting invited around the world. I went to the Netherlands. I was in Durban for a bit. Went to London. We premiered in London, and it's such a mind trip to be asked to come and speak about things that you love, things that you'd speak about in your sleep, So,
right.
But yeah, it did teach me that there's no substitute for hard work, and quality costs what it costs. If you want to be great, you have to put in great work.
Right. I like that. I like that. Well, where are we now? 2018.
2018. So 2018 was when I decided to put Ivory Pictures on hold for a bit. So this is something I didn't know, that, and I learned the hard way, that when you set up a company and you're doing things properly, if you decide to put it on hold, you have to go through the motions. You have to go to the registrar of companies, go to Zimra, go to your bank and notify them, and you have to keep updating your tax returns, and you have to let your shareholders know. It's a whole. And I know it sounds. I mean, to someone like you, Coach, it's probably trivial because that's your bread and butter. But it's not I'm an artist. I'm from an artist background. For me, it was just like, look, bro, let's do the work. And the administration and the paperwork. That's a whole other animal. But after I did that, I said to myself, okay. I looked back and I said, okay, I think I've done everything that I said I wanted to do with film. Obviously, there's still more. But I feel like I've ticked a lot of the boxes that I had. I saw my name in lights. Tick. I was awarded the highest award in the country for my craft. Tick. I had the highest selling film in the box office, which is Lobola, at Rainbow Cinema box office. We had like 11,000 in about 2 weeks, I think.
Tick.
Tick.
Before you give us another one, you made the president tick.
Tick, tick. And oh, I actually got mobbed by a bunch of screaming fans.
Oh,
tick, tick, tick. So you know what I mean? Like I didn't really. I said to myself, okay, look, I think this one we can put we can put on hold for now. I think anyone can agree that I've done one or two things. Now let's see how else we can add to this juggernaut. But I felt like the only way to do that was to completely take myself out of my comfort zones and throw myself into something totally different, and that is business.
Right.
Which is where I ended up now. And the reason I'm saying that is that in 2018, that's when I bought my my water truck, and I embarked on my entrepreneurial journey.
Wow.
Where anything other than film.
Wow. So what you do is you supply water?
Yes, sir. So what we do is we basically supply bulk water, which it's a funny business. It's one of those businesses that shouldn't exist, but it does. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're always operating in this sort of a strange sort of realm where you're making up the rules as you sort of go along. But what we do is we deliver bulk water. We try and deliver anywhere in Harare as cost effectively and as efficiently as possible.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Well, let's conclude our show. We had talked about family and how's that going? How's it being a husband and being a dad?
So that's I think that's the greatest reward of my life. I think I'm a wonderful, wonderful father, but I'm a terrible husband. I think it's such a blessing, Nkoma. I think my wife is happy.
Right.
You'd have to ask her, but I believe she's happy.
Right.
And my children love me. They're such a blessing. 3 boys.
Right.
So that they were all born over the last 10 years. So I think now it's just a matter of, building from where we are and just trying to set up a life with them, a legacy that they'll be proud of.
Wonderful. Yeah. Yeah. And in conclusion, 300,000 United States dollars, Philip Chiangwa.
So $300,000. So that money came from. So what happened was that was raised by a group of anonymous businessmen.
Right.
It sounds like the mafia thing, but I love saying it. No, it was raised by a consortium of anonymous businessmen, spearheaded by Mr. Philip Chiangwa and presented by the president. And again, you can't not be humble when things like this happen to you. I can't, even when I try and, some guy asked me, and I think he was a bit upset about it, but he was like, but what is so special about you? Why you? And I said, look, my guy, if I knew that, I would put it in a bottle and I would sell it.
Yeah.
and make a lot of money. But that money, that gift was, again, it was a huge blessing, and it changed my entire life. It changed the way people perceive me, the way people speak to me.
Right.
And it taught me so much about value, what real value is.
Right.
And, being presented that by the president, it was unprecedented. It's something that had never happened before. And you've got all these guys who are rooting for you. And again, this is where, we need to coach, and we need people like you, Coach, who help young people navigate situations like that, because people don't realize that what makes people like Barack Obama great is the people that are surrounding him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is the people that are surrounding him. And, when you look at Hollywood, every child actor goes through a difficult patch before they transition into adult entertainment, or child singer, Justin Bieber. The list is endless. Britney Spears, she shaved her head and went nuts.
Yeah.
The list is endless. Even Deleuze in South Africa, all these guys went through these things. So for me, my 300,000, that was my graduation. That was, my ticket into saying, okay, now you've graduated, now you can do larger projects.
Wow.
You must learn how to be humble and learn that money,
right.
it's not it's not about the money. It's about what you do and what you leave behind. In the pursuit of truth, what you leave behind. In the pursuit of what? In the pursuit of truth, what we leave behind is art, and that's what it's about. So 300 gida. Very expensive lesson.
Well, Munya, would you like to, before you do that, I actually want to celebrate you one more time and to thank you for joining us on After 5 Radio. But most importantly, for bearing your soul, talking to us. But more than anything, you gave us the lesson of hard work. I don't know if is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to? And please, can you give us, we want to support you on After 5 Radio. Maybe give us the number for people to buy water, because we've got a lot of people from the diaspora who are tuned in, and we want them to be buying your water. And to thank you for coming on set. I'm going to ask you to just share your number, if that's okay. Your business number.
No, that's perfect. No, that's perfect,
Yeah.
Goma. So my business number is 0773
0773
611
611
929.
929. And what's your business called?
So my business is called Blue Hippo Water.
Blue Hippo Water. And once again, any shout outs to, or shut ups?
Look, I think the biggest shout out will be to you, Mkoma. Thank you so much for this platform. You've actually used our services, and look, you can let people know what you thought and how you felt, and if we're living up to your standards. But most importantly, thank you so much for this platform, Mkoma, and for taking an interest in a young hustler.
Well, keep on hanging out there, brother, and keep it real, keep hustling. I can't wait for Rona to go so you can buy me some sadza somewhere.
I will definitely do that, and we'll take this discussion up from there.
All right. Well, thank you once again, Munya, Chidzonga, and we are live on After 5 Radio, and we've had an amazing start